Welcome back as we get set for our second game in the evening slate, our final game of the day, the nightcap, so to speak. Providence St. Mel and the Knights, and Bloomington Central Catholic and the Saints. The winner will face Nashville for the 2A championship. That's coming up tomorrow night right here on many of these IHSA television network stations. Matt Rodewald with you here at Carver Arena. Our first matchup, Nashville in control from the start. They had a nice run to finish things up in that first half, and then they just kind of coasted from there. No problem for them. Let's take a look at the highlights to show you how Nashville was able to take care of Porta in this one. And again, Nashville going with their size inside, and they really started with Clint Johannes, who had an excellent game, 20 points, 8 of 13 from the field, a double-double with 11 rebounds for him. They also had Daniel Thorson, whose ankle is now a bit of a concern. See, he gets the rebound there. He turned his left ankle in that second half. He was out for a little while anyway. See if he comes back. Royce Newman, the All-State honorable mention candidate, 14 points and 7 rebounds for him on the night. As for Porta, their highlights, Nick Sinclair, a tough night shooting, 4 of 17. He ended up with 15 points. Matt Mueller, 3 of 10 from the field with 7 points, as you see there. And Nate Hopper, he ended up with 3 baskets. There's one of them there with 9 points on his night. Back to Nashville in the second half. Hunter Beatley off the bench. A nice performance. Hit a 3 from the outside. He also had that putback there. 6 points for him on the evening. And also Keegan Anderson playing big with 12 points. Here's the steal and the finish for him. The easy layup, and then it's back to Clint Johannes. Again, a big-time night for the senior. He is there cherry-picking. He'll tell you that. 20 points, 11 rebounds for him. And Nashville goes on for the easy win, 62-43. We've got our second semifinal coming up next. Providence St. Mel, Bloomington Central Catholic. It's all next here in the IHSA Television Network.
Cubs and Sox.
I hit a minivan.
The need for speed.
What a wonderful night of basketball we've had for you, and one more game to go. It's Providence St. Mel and Bloomington Central Catholic. 2 teams led by All-State guards, Tevin King and Nick Norton. 2 teams that haven't been here in 12 years, trying for a state championship. A win tonight gets them one step closer. And welcome into our broadcast here at Carver Arena. Matt Rodewald with you. So glad you're with us for our final game of the night. This should be a good one. One of the best teams all year long in Providence St. Mel, and one of the teams that just keeps knocking off giants in Bloomington Central Catholic. We'll see how this matchup goes down, but first, we got to show you how these 2 teams got here. Let's take a look at the brackets and give you an indication of what the road was like for these 2 teams, with the Saints and the Knights to get here. And for the Knights, it was all about getting that win in the super sectional round over Hales Franciscan. A year ago, they got stung by the sting from Seton in order to get here. Denied one step. In the meantime, as we look at our 1A bracket, we'll have that for you tomorrow with Hayworth and Mooseheart for your 1A championship. That is set for 2 o'clock tomorrow. And Bloomington Central Catholic taking out number 1 and unbeaten Rockridge in the sectional round before taking out Newman in the super sectional round. If they have a top 3 ranking, the Saints don't care. They just might beat you anyway. Bloomington Central Catholic and Providence St. Mel, that's coming up next. And for the call, let's check in with Dave Bernhardt and Mark Lindo. Guys?
Well, thank you very much, Matt. And indeed, a lot of coaches would tell you that every game has a life of its own, and you just have to play it out and see what happens. But I think one thing we're pretty confident of tonight, Mark, is the pace is going to be pretty quick.
I think we'll see some great excitement. We'll see some open floor play. We're going to see some exciting plays. You're going to have a good one to call, because I think you'll have some voice influx when the people are playing up and down the floor in a hurry tonight.
All the reasons, 2 of them, Matt just mentioned, a couple of All-State guards. First of all, for Providence St. Mel, we will feature Tevin King.
What a great young man to feature, a 4-year starter. He's their glue. He's their scorer. 14.3 points a game, a first-team IBCA All-Starter. The coaches know that he's a winner. He's the guy that makes them go. He said state tournament from the beginning. He has his team there tonight.
Now on the other side for Bloomington Central Catholic, it's actually his first year. It's his senior year, though. Nick Norton.
Hey, the prototype point guard. He's able to drive, draw, dish, distribute the basketball, vision and decision-making. Another first-team All-Stater. He can take over a basketball game with his passing ability. He's electric in the open floor. Just so much fun to watch. And besides that, he averages 18 points a game in his own right. 2 great point guards on the stage here tonight.
Providence St. Mel, the only ranked team we have here in the Final Four. They are ranked number 2. What do you see to the keys for the Knights tonight?
Well, I think for the Knights right now, they have to show on shooters. They have to get out on Norton and Reinhardt and stop the 3-ball. The other thing they must do is the little big things, the 50-50 balls, the charges, all of those things, deflections that are so important.
And for Bloomington Central Catholic, the Saints make a short trip here. Here are their keys.
No doubt, protect the paint. What I mean by that is stop St. Mel's lane touches, keep their dribble out of the paint, and that starts with Nick Norton. And as well, they have to distribute dimes. They have to score off assists, make the extra pass to try to break down that very, very solid St. Mel defense.
And for Providence St. Mel, they have played mainly a 3A, 4A schedule all year. In fact, all of their losses were against teams that are playing tonight in sectional championship ball games. St. Mel has not lost to a 2A team this year. And as we've told you many times, Bloomington Central Catholic, they knocked off number 1. They knocked off number 3. Could number 2 be next? We'll find out when we come back to Carver Arena. We're all set. Semifinal game number 2 of your Class A state finals coming up next on the IHSA Television Network.
You see, guaranteed delivery with
Begins after we go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association of the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for America's original March Madness. This 2A semifinal game for 2014 features the Bloomington Central Catholic Saints, 25-6, and the Chicago Providence St. Mel Knights, 25-6. Let's meet the teams for the semifinal contest. For Providence St. Mel, a 6'3" sophomore, 0, Emmanuel Williams. 5'7" junior, 2, Corey Allen. 6'2" junior, 4, Michael Johnson. 5'9" senior, 5, Maurice Hatch. 5'5" sophomore, 13, Tremaine Gallion. 5'9" freshman, 15, Eddie Burnett. 5'10" junior, 24, Joseph Bruton. 5'10" sophomore, 30, Jalen Garrison. 6'4" junior, 32, Carl Garner. And 6'3" sophomore, 33, Anton Sanders. And now the Saints of Bloomington Central Catholic. 5'10" sophomore, 15, Mitch LaTulip. 6'2" senior, 11, Michael Billington. 5'10" senior, 21, Keith Rollins. 6'3" senior, 24, Parker Goodlick. 5'11" sophomore, 31, John Rave. 6'1" sophomore, 32, Jake Buffman. 6'3" sophomore, 41, Jacob Gilmore. And a 6'4" senior, 44, John Hester. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the semifinal contest. At a forward for Providence St. Mel, a 6'4" junior, 25, Tyler Turner. At a forward for Central Catholic, 6'4" senior, 12, Elliot Herdeman. The guard for the Knights, a 6'2" senior, 3, Kevin King. At center for the Saints, a 6'5" junior, 42, Braxton Kaufman. Another guard for Providence St. Mel, a 5'7" senior, 10, Kayland Nash. And a guard for Bloomington Central Catholic, a 6'2" senior, 3, Austin Holman. Another guard for the Knights, the 6'2 senior, 20, Bernard Lilly Jr. Another guard for the Saints, the 6'2 junior, 4, Jake Reinhardt. And another guard for St. Mel, a 6'4 senior, 22, Joshua McNeil. And the third guard for Central Catholic, a 5'11 senior, 22, Nick Norton. Head coach for Providence St. Mel in his 8th year, a record of 141-91, is Tim Irvin.
We know
coaches.
Nashville will be playing the championship game tomorrow night. We find out their opponent next. And 6. A lot of folks have been anticipating this matchup. We've waited all day for it. We are ready to roll. And the Saints from BCC to start.
Saw the first game. Both teams playing zone tonight. I think we'll see both teams really flat out getting after it, extending passing lanes, trying to create havoc, trying to create pressure with their defense. The tempo should be quick.
Central Catholic coming off a 77-65 win over Sterling Newman Central Catholic, and that's after defeating Rockridge 56-55 to win the Olympia sectional. And right out of the blocks, Austin Holman is stuffed. Tevin King, the pull-up.
St. Mel started man-to-man, but they started switching screens, which will create mismatch opportunities for Bloomington Central at that juncture.
Norton drops it back for Reinhardt. Reinhardt, a great shooter. Norton can do it all. Bang!
I'll tell you what, he squared up. What a clean release. Good 1-2 step, left, right, elevate, shoot. Releases the ball, the apex of his jump, and just flat out drains it.
Norton hits his 63rd three-pointer. The other way, Bernard Lilly Jr. coming up short. Reinhardt on the push. He goes strong. Contact, and it's a block.
So Reinhardt with a good push. Lilly tried to take the charge. St. Mel very well coached in that area. As a matter of fact, Lilly's number 2 on his team in taking charges. Tim Irvin, nice picture of him in his 8th season.
He is honored to be here. This is a St. Mel program. They won a state championship in 1985, made 4 appearances since then. In fact, 2002, Tim Irvin is head coach for the Knights when they were still playing Class A ball. This team finished 1-1. And of course, those records at 1-1, that begins with the super sectional, as historically that is how the IHSA record book is kept.
Tom Shields, the coach of that state championship team. The most notable name, Lowell Hamilton, played for the Flying Illini. Fernando Bunch, a diminutive dynamo of a guard, went to Creighton off of that team. And the Knights, I believe, finished 1st and 2nd in consecutive years.
We have a delay at the moment because the basket that Jake Reinhardt is shooting at, the clock was out momentarily, and now it pops back on. I'd be a little bit more of a concern if this were a college game. This is the home of the Bradley Braves. There's no shot clock in high school basketball.
Reinhardt shoots 46% from the arc, 80% from the charity stripe. So if you want to watch a picture book shot, there it is.
Matt Rodewald filling us in on clock problems.
They're trying to fix the clock. The one over that free throw, that basket was not working. You had 2 options. A, you work on that to make sure that it's up. Or B, you turn off clocks above the basket on both baskets to balance things out. So they were trying to figure out what to do, but they were able to fix it. It's something to keep an eye on, though, just for a little while anyway.
The other clocks in this building are high atop the ends, a little bit in the corners, the ends of Carver Arena, or straight up top in the big overhang scoreboard.
St. Mel 2-2-1 press trying to trap the corners, and they do.
Norton loses it to Joshua McNeil. The bounce ahead to King, and the ball out of bounds, but a foul is also called on the Saints. The other side, Jason Welch, the head coach in his 7th year at Bloomington Central Catholic. Prior to this season, last year 14-14, a year before 11-17. Also coached 4 years at Villa Grove High School.
He said his team is very capable and knows how to play 32-minute basketball games. That's a very, very good thing for a coach to feel comfortable about. And I would assume that both coaches tonight are very much aware this could be a 32-minute battle. It could go down the wire.
Last year, Tevin King, 2nd team All-Stater, Associated Press. This year, a first-team selection, and it's significant because that's the AP All-State team, and truly only 5 players are picked first-teamers, and we have 2 first-team guards. Here's one of them, Norton. Reinhardt can shoot it.
Distribute the dime. Did you see Norton come down, look to his left, but he just knew his shooter was on the right. He knew who to get the ball on time, on target, in rhythm.
A couple of threes, a couple of free throws. Central Catholic with the 8-1 lead, looking for more, ahead to Hordeman. Missed an easy one there. Rebound to Tyler Turner. Strong inside move from Turner.
Turner was able to get to his left shoulder where he's more comfortable with his right hand, a little baby hook. Well, much a part of his ability to score right there.
Reinhardt trapped right here in front of us. It will be Saints basketball. 8-game winning streak for Central Catholic. On the other side, it's 14 in a row for Tim Irvin's Providence St. Mel team.
A lot of screens by Bloomington Central Catholic. Right there, they got Norton coming off a double screen, get him the ball, and then he's able to drive and draw as he gets to the 10. Just explosive to the rim when he accelerates in the open floor or going downhill toward the basket.
Nick Norton, very interesting story. I mentioned this the first year he's played for Bloomington Central Catholic. He grew up in Bloomington, but then moved to Missouri for his freshman year because his dad, Randy, is assistant women's basketball coach, moving from ISU to Missouri. Well, Nick started a point guard for Rockbridge, Missouri as a freshman. Then when his dad was named head coach at Alabama Birmingham after Nick's junior year, there was a decision to make. The decision was Nick would come back to Bloomington, play with his buddies here, and here you are, second to last day of the season.
Yeah, good bloodlines. His mother was a Division I athlete at Iowa. His father played basketball and baseball at Iowa, drafted by the Expos, and he had a couple of sisters that were pretty successful on the hardwood as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a little bit, but I can tell you that Carly and Allie Norton, they've got their championship game experience. They played for the 2010 champs and the 2011 second place team at Bloomington Central Catholic. You can count that one. Kaylin Nash.
Kaylin Nash was able to get the bump and the bucket at the same time. He knew he was going to get contact, and the little guy at 5'7", 140. Look at the run out, great vision. He takes the bump and was strong enough with his left hand to kiss it softly off the glass.
Norton on the control again. Norton had originally committed to Creighton University to play basketball. He subsequently decommitted, so leaving his options open here.
King on Norton, so 2 All-Staters going mano-mano right there on the outside. Good picture of him right there on the guard. Ball screen.
Hordeman, Norton, inside in the foul. Heading to the free throw line will be Braxton Kaufman.
So Bloomington Central Catholic set a ball screen there. Providence St. Mel, there's 3 things you can do against a ball screen. You can jump it and double team, you can switch it, or you can hedge it. They switched that one, and imagine that. Norton, with a great recognition, knows where his man's going to roll down the lane and finds his teammate, Kaufman, as he's cutting to the basket. So taking advantage of the ball screen and taking advantage of reading the defense.
Braxton Kaufman, yet another tie to those girls state finals teams. Leaves that second one short as well. He is the son of Bloomington Central Catholic girls head coach Deb Kaufman, who won that state title in 2010 and then finished second in 2011. Braxton talks about remembering that. He was in 7th grade when his mom won in 2010. So it's a lot different now rather than just watching in the stands. Timeout on the floor. Central Catholic on top by 3 at our first break.
There are more than 300
for the women's soccer team.
Of the day, we had 1A action in the afternoon, and yes, you are on the video board. How many times can you say that would happen? You're serving up a slice of pizza, and you ended up on the big board inside.
I was hoping you were going to run upstairs and you were buying tonight, huh?
You look pretty.
No dinner on you.
Look, maybe, you know what, for all you know, somebody's getting me that piece you saw being delivered.
You got clout, don't you?
There'll be a foul on King. That is a great matchup, Mark, with Norton and King right here. That's a couple of big-time players.
You take a look at King when he's going to come back into our picture as the ball's going to be inbound. He's so long in that leg. Look at him right there, how long a wingspan he has. He takes away the inside cut of Norton right there.
Providence St. Mel has not lost to a 2A team all year.
So now they've switched. Now he's got a smaller guy on him as Norton, but a little bit more quickness.
Horniman from the corner. That goes off the shot clock, and Providence St. Mel will head the other way.
See, Norton had Kalen Nash switch onto him off a screen on the weak side, so he had a little bit more of a size advantage right there, but Nash does have that quickness.
King at 6'2", 185, senior point guard.
Bloomington Central Catholic in a 2-3 zone. I think this is just a show-me defense right here. I don't think they'll stay in that unless they find some great success, but Providence St. Mel right now a little bit indifferent as to how they want to attack, but they get it in the middle like they should.
One of the defenders in there, number 44, John Hester, coming off of Jason Welch's bench.
It's a simple game when you're on defense. You want to keep it out of the middle. When you're on offense, you want to get it in the middle. Whoever wins that battle normally wins the war.
Reinhardt will pick up that foul. Number 20 there, Bernard Lilly. He's the reason they're here. Made a game-winning 3 at the buzzer to beat Northridge Prep in the semifinals of the sectional. And head coach Tim Irvin said in that game he was my number 1, my number 2, my number 3, number 4, number 5 option. We're going to go down. We're going to go down on his shot.
That was play Oklahoma, if I'm right. They had practiced it and practiced it, never used it, but when it was time, it worked.
Bucket will go for Tyler Turner. Back to Lilly. He made that shot, and after the shot, he ran over to his coach, and he thanked him for having confidence in him to call that play.
He's a quality young man. We'll touch on some of his attributes later on because it takes about 15 minutes. He could write a book about what that young man's done in his life already. He's only 16, 17 years old.
Providence St. Mel on a 6-0 run to cut the margin to 1. Here it is, Norton and King again.
Yeah, look at how closely guarded. King doesn't give any space at all on that matchup.
Hester denied.
Good job by McNeil staying down, not biting on the pump fake right there on the up and under move. Good defense.
Turner the turn, and it comes out of there.
Good post move, was not able to finish. Showed one way, spun the other way.
Norton from distance.
Shot that one from the Ritter, squared up. He knew his team needed a bucket. Claps his hands in exhortation right there. Slaps the floor. What a competitor he is.
Nick Norton now with 8 points, comes in averaging 17.5 per game, 6.3 assists. To the free throw line will go Joshua McNeil.
Yeah, you talk about that 17 and 6. I'm not real good at math, but he's responsible for 30 points a game just statistically, and that doesn't count how much he opens things up, for other people, because the focus of every defense is on Nick Norton, number 22.
Before Norton hit that three-pointer for the Saints, Bloomington Central Catholic had gone 3 minutes and 22 seconds without a field goal, enabled St. Mel to close the gap.
McNeil here has so much respect for his coach, Coach Irvin. He said Coach Irvin is the definition of a man, because Coach Irvin helps anybody, anytime. What a compliment from a player about his coach.
2-point game as we approach the 1-minute mark of the first quarter.
The Central Catholic sending a lot of screens, flare screen, ball screen, roll.
Austin Holman with it. Hunter thought he got the ball clean. I don't think our officials will see it the same way.
Holman gets to the basket. There was a lot of movement away from the basketball. Good motion offense by Bloomington Central Catholic on that possession. It kind of broke down to where their spacing wasn't what they would have liked. You want to spread the defense about 15 to 17 feet apart so that you have open up driving lanes. They got a little bit bunched in that time, but very fortuitous that he was able to draw the foul in that traffic.
John Hester will leave, Braxton Kaufman back in, and for Providence St. Mel, that foul was the second of the game for Tyler Turner, so he will come out, replaced by Carl Garner.
Now here's King with Norton on him, so the matchups at both ends. Some play called by Coach Irvin. Back screen.
King with it. He's going to fire it up from three.
They tried to post inside, nothing there, so King takes it in his own hands. You know, he had a game-winning shot to beat Seton last year, missed it, said he remembered it all summer long, and basically made the game-clinching free throw for the 4-point advantage in the Super Sectional. Wanted to get his team here.
It was a 1-point loss to Seton Academy in the Supers last year. Norton to Kaufman. Second opportunity. And Providence St. Mel on that three-pointer by Tevin King, their first lead of the game. 1-point advantage after one.
I had a client.
Welcome back to Carver Arena, our second semifinal, about to start the second quarter with Providence St. Mel in front by 1. And when you ask Tim Irvin about his All-Stater, Tevin King, he says he is our leader. And you want an example of it? All you have to do is look back to the Super Sectional. After he picked up his 4th foul pretty early in the third quarter, he had to go to the bench. He watched his 6-point lead evaporate as a result. So in the meantime, what did he do? He decided to get up. He didn't even say anything to coach. He says, I walked up, I went to the scorer's table. I was like, I got to get in this game. So he went back in the game, and they ended up winning the game. When you ask Tim Irvin about it, he says, I saw him, we didn't say anything, I wasn't going to do anything about it.
Yeah, good move by Coach Irvin, eh? That's talking about confidence in a young man. Good grief, that is against all coaching, quote, wisdom. You have to know your players.
He and Lilly have led his team in scoring 28 of the 31 games. So those are the guys you want to have the rock when the game is on the line. A lot of down screen, cross screen action right now by Bloomington Central Catholic.
Strong move inside from Braxton Kaufman off the feed from Norton.
Norton delivering the dimes. We talked about making the extra pass. He has that vision to do just that, get into the defense.
Into the game for Central Catholic, Jacob Gilmore, another inside presence, a 6'3" sophomore. Norton. McNeil ahead to King. Left corner. Air ball 3 from Eddie Burnett, who started this second quarter.
Well, when you watch it, people need to watch Norton's eyes. His eyes are always up. He sees all 94 feet of the floor. Just a great passer visualize.
Slow go here to open up the first minute and a half. Only one bucket in this quarter. Holman makes it the second basket here in the second.
Tough shot right there, because most good jump shooters can't shoot as well going left, don't shoot as well off the bounce. He did both those things, got squared up, good lift, good extension of the shot, nailed it.
Bernard Lilly Jr. with that shot coming from behind his head. He'll go to the line and shoot 3.
So we talked about Lily. He's a senior class president. He was star of the school play. He's a basketball star. He's won a game. And when he was younger, he was on some big stages as well, including a Happy Meal box.
He did they have sportsmanship announcements here that are read by players. And he represented Providence St. Mel. It's shown on the video board here at Carver Arena and for all the state finals. And you just looked at him and you said, you know, here's a young man that's been in front of a camera before.
Yeah, you know, and he did modeling at a young age for Coles, for Carson's. He is an incredible student. Schools like Carnegie Mellon, New York University, Brown. You talk about a complete young man. He's coming into your living room right now as he goes to the free throw line.
Well, I have to say one thing about Bernard Lilly Jr. He did miss a practice. He had to sit out part of a game. And that's because he was representing his school at a state choir competition.
And the discipline was still there. That was a rule. They didn't break the rule, Coach Irvin. And yeah, isn't he all state in choir as well?
Yep.
My goodness, what a well-rounded young man. High post here.
Getting back to King just for a second. Principal Jeanette DeBella is being honored at a banquet this year. She chose Bernard Lilly to speak and be the MC at that banquet.
Wow.
Tim Irvin wanted an offensive foul, a charge call there. He didn't get it.
And Jeanette DeBella said about him, he's a role model for all of our lower level students to look up to. See the penetration, the nice finish, or the attempt before the shot comes across the arm there.
Parker Goodlook is coming to the game for Central. He'll track the ball down. 1 point lead for the Saints. Goodlook, little floater. Rebound out of there from Michael Johnson, a 6'2" junior. King with the left hand, oh my goodness.
That was just a great drive to the bucket as he went right, and then crossed over, boom, exposing the lane. You don't always play the game fast. You lull your defense to sleep, and then you accelerate. And King did just right that by changing pace.
Ornament denied the baseline. Broxton, tough angle. Broxton Kaufman can't get it, and the Knights the other way in a 1 point lead.
Such quick hands, getting a couple low blocks when the big fella put the ball down low.
King will not go that time. But Braxton Kaufman had a couple of chances inside, contested chances. Tevin King to the line.
You know, you talked about the schedule that St. Mel playing all 3 and 4A opponents. Their losses were to people playing tonight in sectional finals. You know, Coach Irvin said our kids want to play West Side kids, people in the neighborhood, people they know. They want to play that good competition, and it's readied them for this state tournament run that they're on right now.
Well, Tevin King right here at the line, one of the top 8th graders, decided to go to Providence St. Mel for academics. Thought about transferring because all his friends were playing at, you know, the Powers, Morgan Park, Simeon Orr, but he stayed because he wanted to create his own thing. He said, being here at St. Mel, I became a better person and more disciplined. Free throw is given the Knights a 2 point lead. Austin Holman puts the ball on the floor. 6'2" senior all the way to the rack.
Boy, Holman saw defense rotating over. He was going to lay it right at the glass, but instead he knew he had to adjust, throw it high up on the glass. He got it to drop down softly. Good adjustment on the shot when he saw the defense rotate toward him.
Tied at 19. King. And the Central Catholic fans remind King of the air ball. That will be a travel on. Norton didn't quite get the handle on it. Talked about Devin King. He is a first-team All-State selection, the 6'2", 185-pounder. All-State because of shots like this.
Forever.
Well, his team's disciplined, and his team stresses academics. Coach Irvin walked on at Purdue, played for Gene Cady, and graduated from Purdue, the very first member of his family to graduate from college with a 3.69 GPA. And the discipline he installs on his team is very, very evident the way they play the game of basketball.
Lilly misses everything, so you have King and Lilly. A couple of air ball threes. 19-19, final 3 minutes here in the first half.
0 for 3 is Lilly right now. King 2 for 5, so 2 for 8 out of their 2 scores. They got to get them on some kind of roll.
There are the 2 scores that are separated by just 1/10 per game average. King at 14.3, Lilly Jr. at 14.2. And the inside basket will go to John Hester, and the Saints go back on top.
What a great play by Hester. You might say, well, it's only an 8-foot shot, but he caught. There was a defender right in his way. Could have traveled, but had the presence of mind to put the brakes on, elevate right there, and score that without the turnover that could have been forced by St. Mel.
Misfired 3 from Joshua and McNeil. The foul from Carl Garner over the back. Remember, Tyler Turner, a couple of fouls. He has sat most of this second quarter.
Kyle Garner's another guy. He gives them at 6'4", 200. He gives them a big lift off the bench. Good jumper. He had 10 points in the super sectional win against Hales. So when you can bring that kind of productivity and athleticism off the bench, it just shows the depth that they have.
And Tim Irvin gets his charge call. He's been looking for one here a couple of times today, and slow getting up was McNeil. Mark, you're a little bit surprised that we talked about pace. Now we thought it would get up and down a little more. Are you surprised we only have 40 points on the board?
I am, and you know, we did have the first quarter 14-13. I thought the pace was a little bit better, but the shooting percentage just aren't very good, and both defenses extending a little bit right now. And the zone that we did not think Bloomington Central Cali would play has really slowed down the tempo of St. Mel.
Garner looked inside the zone, nothing there. So around the edge we go.
Coach Irvin's yelling, get it inside. They got to get a high post touch.
They'll launch from long distance. And their last 4 misses from three-point range have not been close.
See, because you don't have any rhythm. You don't have any rhythm with that. You got to get the ball in, out, get some guys moving, and then your shots will start to fall.
Ornament baseline. 90 seconds to play in the first half. St. Mel looking for a tie or maybe more. But instead of travel. This is really becoming grinded out type of first half.
Defense is taking over. Watch Central Catholic on this trip down. See number 44 for them, Hester. He's going to set a lot of ball screens. He'll come and set one, and he'll set an angle ball screen, or he'll set what we call a flat ball screen where his dribbler can choose a side. So that's kind of a change in the game. It used to be like on the right side or left side, and the defense would call it out. Now there's a flat screen that's set, and then that forces the defense to make an adjustment. They're going to go underneath the screen, or if they're going to go over the top of the screen.
Norton, the strong movements, pass inside to Hester, who makes that strong move. And with it, a 23-19 Central lead.
6'4", 185, a physicality that you cannot coach and teach. One that he just uses his length and strength to get the ball to the 10.
Providence St. Mel had a 19-17 lead, but Central Catholic has scored the last 6 points to go up by 4.
And they get their man to the free throw line. In this case, it will be Garner, but he is the beneficiary of nice penetration by Nash, who finally got the ball deep on a crossover dribble, got Garner on the baseline to skate down there, draw the foul, and get to the stripe.
Garner will get the free throw. However, the Knights from Providence St. Mel, with 42 seconds to play here in the first half, have gone almost 5 minutes without a field goal. Their last basket came at the 5:32 mark. Yet with the free throw here, they will be within 2. Norton had 8 points in the first quarter. That's the number he's sitting at right now. Jake Reinhardt.
There's a flat screen there, and then he goes angle screen right there. All with the ability to let his ball handler go ahead and read which way the defense is going. High ball screens, pretty much a big part of Coach Welch's offense.
Providence St. Mel with 10 seconds. With 5 seconds, long way from the basket. 3 is short from Michael Johnson, and that's how our first half will come to a close. Bloomington Central Catholic outscoring Providence St. Mel 10-7 in the second quarter to go on top 23-21 at the half. A pair of teams each with 25-6 records. Providence St. Mel, second-ranked team in the state. And Bloomington Central Catholic, big wins in the last 2 games, and Jason Welch is with our Matt Rodewald.
Well, Coach, it's a tight battle out there in the first half. It's fun watching the guards go back and forth. How do you guys take control of this one in the second half?
Well, I think we got to stop their penetration. I thought early, especially, they hurt us on transition. We talked about it. And then second shots, we weren't able to, control them on the glass. Also, got to make some free throws.
You guys have been able to get some action in the paint. How important is that to continue in the second half?
It's important. I mean, we got to score in the paint. That's what you got to have to happen. We're going to make some shots over the top, but we got to get some shots in the paint.
Okay, Coach, good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Jason Welch, the head coach of Bloomington Central Catholic. They took down number 1. They took down number 3. They're up 2 on number 2. Second half coming up.
There's just one place.
My family farms.
I stay out past my curfew.
You don't have to buy.
Nick Norton with 8 points to lead the way for Bloomington Central Catholic, and for Providence St. Mel, Tevin King with 7 points. And that's our score, 23-21. Bloomington Central Catholic with the edge at the break. Take a look at sectional finals in Class 3A for tonight. You can find all the games and all the finals listed at ihsa.org. Bogan, no problem with Hyde Park at CVS sectional championship there. Lincoln rolls past Wayne McLean and Champaign Central at Mattoon. It's a 47-30 finals. You can see Rockford Lutheran, the Crusaders, get back to the super sectional round, denying Sycamore its first ever sectional crown. And Orr rolls past Fenwick in a 50-30 final in that one in Class 3A. North Chicago also getting a win in Morgan Park as well, and Cahokia in your Class 3A. You can see there, and Notre Dame, as you can see, 45-32, the final over Morton. Right down the street, and Morgan Park, no problem over Joliet Catholic, a 37-point win over at Rich East. As for Class 4A and those sectional finals, everything's done now. Bennett Academy moves on to the super sectional round at Hinsdale Central, where they'll face off against Glenbard North, the upset winner over Morton. Panthers get the win at Bartlett tonight. Rockford Auburn, the second Rockford team, will be playing at DeKalb after getting past the Cinderellas South Elgin. And Stevenson's season continues, ending the unbeaten run for Fremd, a 15-point win over at Lake Zurich. The other sectional finals, Whitney Young, the number 1 ranked Dolphins, a real tough one up Marist. They finally hold off the Mustangs by a 9-point margin. Marion Catholic over Homewood Flossmoor, so they'll move on to face off against Edwardsville. And it's the Tigers that gets the win over Normal Community. Loyola Academy, the Ramblers are awfully good shooters. They'll be next up for Whitney Young in the super sectional round. Again, all those games in the super sectionals coming up on Tuesday. You can watch every single super sectional matchup, Class 3A and Class 4A, on our website at ihsa.tv, and follow the scores, ihsa.org. And those winners will be here next Friday night. We still have a 2A championship matchup to set up. A real good one here in the semis. Bloomington Central Catholic with a 2-point lead. Highlights and stats coming up.
Giving you the most
experts online.
And then Tevin King goes to work. Outside bucket, long range, 3-ball, corner pocket for him. First teamer averaging 14 on the season. There he is working in the lane with the left hand off the glass. No problem for him there. And then it's Bloomington Central Catholic's turn. The Saints, they come marching into Carver Arena, and working from long range is Nick Norton, the 3-ball for him. He got that one to fall. Also getting some help from Austin Holman, a guy who's always in the right place, the right time. That jumper falls, very confident in his shooting ability. He'll have one more here as he drives, gets some space in the baseline, leans in, and gets that off the glass to fall. Braxton Kaufman, he's the coach's son, but she's the girls' coach. He gets one in there as he works in the paint as well. And our score at the break, 23-21. Our stats, as you can see, shooting pretty even, not much from the outside. Providence St. Mel still struggling, 1 of 7 from long range. They've been to the free throw line a little bit more. Rebounds are even, turnovers pretty much non-existent. Same with points off turnovers. It's been a clean, crisp game, and we'll see how even this is as we head towards the second half. Bloomington Central Catholic, a 2-point lead, second half coming up.
Save the green this.
Providence St. Mel, Tim Irvin.
Well, Coach, 5 shots taken so far for Tevin King. How do you get him more opportunities here in the second half?
Well, we got to move the ball, first of all. You got to keep the ball movement, and it'll come to him. I just tell him you got to keep the ball movement and take advantage when they make a mistake to be able to penetrate or be able to get inside the paint and then make some things happen.
Sure seems pretty even both ways on both ends of the floor. What's the X factor? How do you gain control of this one?
I think the X factor is Bernard Liddy getting some open looks so he can shoot the ball, and then we got to go inside a little bit more and see what we got. I think our inside may be a little tougher than there, so we got to go inside a little more.
Consider a favorite, maybe a target on your back all season long. You're here 16 minutes away from a state title game. What do you tell your kids here at halftime about that?
I told them we got to go get it. We're 16 minutes away from our goal. We're 16 minutes away from one step closer to our goal. So I said we got to go get it. Let's just go get it.
Okay, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Head coach Tim Irvin, Providence St. Mel, a 1991 graduate, a former assistant coach, and a head coach on the verge of a state championship game. His team down by 2. We'll be back. The IHSA.
A lot of folks in this ballgame that probably need to shoot the ball a little more.
Well, you got to go to your go-to guy.
Realtor.com. See what's on the market in your neighborhood from your mobile device. Download the Realtor.com mobile application today. Realtor.com, the most accurate real estate experience.